if they don't do these sort of muscle flexings, both the American and Russian economy will collapse because they live on defense sales.
Yes, sir. That's right. Oh, we have our head of
Welcome,
Chancellery,
Mr. Ray.
Mr. S.K. Ray.
Mr. Ray, welcome. Thank you very much, sir, for joining. Sir, you are on mute, sir.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, Ambassador Madam is joining, no?
I don't think so, actually.
Oh,
She,
just now.
she is a little bit occupied with another meeting.
Okay. So we have our President, Mr. Pradeep Multani ji, who is already there with us.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Welcome.
afternoon.
And
Thank
we
you.
have Mr. Harjeev Chawla, our co-chair for the International Committee for Europe and CIS.
Good afternoon, Ji.
Mr. JJ Singh, you know, no introduction required.
Who does not know him? Everybody knows him.
So I think His Excellency Ambassador of Poland in India has also joined. I think he will be again switching on. So we have other officials from the PITA. Monica, we can now switch on the cameras and all. Welcome, Mr. Zareba.
Hi.
Mr. Redek. Hi, Monica.
Hello, hello everyone.
So, sir, these three people are from a Polish Investment and Trade Agency, who are our supporters for this webinar today.
Wonderful.
And we have been very actively, every week almost, we were doing meetings with them to make this a good success today. And I think we have been able to somehow achieve what we were discussing. Monica can give us more updates on that.
And Mr. Jamek is joining us from Malaysia, sir.
Yeah.
Right, that's true. Good afternoon from Malaysia.
Thank you, Mr. Zareb. Welcome, Mr. Kazmiris. He is from PTAC.
Our friend Kash is also there. Good.
Yeah. Thomas is also joining, sir.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Excellency, Mr. Adam, can we start the event, sir?
Yes, sure.
So on behalf of
You
PhD,
were waiting for me. I was here all the time.
Oh, so Mr.
yeah.
Thomas also from PTAC has joined. Welcome, Mr. Thomas. Thank you for joining. Mr. Thomas, you are on mute.
Excuse me?
We can hear you now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Perfect.
So thank you very much, sir. Now we have the panelists. So on behalf of PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I welcome you all for this virtual interactive series on global trade and investment opportunities for Indian industry in Poland. So we are really thankful to our supporters, the Polish Investment and Trade Agency, PFR Group, for the support they have been rendering. Also the Indo-Polish Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. J.J. Singh in particular. Thank you very much, sir, for the support. And our strategic partner, PTAC Warsaw Expo, and my very close friend, Mr. Thomas and Mr. Kashmiris, with whom we have been participating in the exhibitions. And our event partners, AVH Associates and Cherry Enterprises. And we also welcome the officials from the Indian Embassy in Poland, Mr. S.K. Ray, especially, sir. Thank you very much for being here today and the support we have been getting from the embassy when we participated as India Pavilion in the Warsaw Gift and Deco show 2.5 years back. Again, next month, sir, we are coming up with the India Pavilion there in the Warsaw Gift and Deco show from 17 to 19. So by this weekend, we will be able to share all the details with you of the participants. We have 45 exhibitors as of date who will be participating. So we are in touch with the embassy here also for the visa purposes and all, and PTAC has been very great support in this. So thank you very much. So other dignitaries whom we have today is His Excellency Mr. Adam Burakowski, the Ambassador, Embassy of Poland in India. Thank you very much, Excellency, for being with us today. And we have the officials from the Polish Investment and Trade Agency, Ms. Monika Kisel, Mr. Radosto Pituch, and Mr. Zareba. Thank you very much, sir. And Mr. J.J. Singh is the president of the Indo-Polish Chamber of Commerce and Industry based in Poland. Thank you, sir, once again for being with us today. And Mr. Tomasz Saispula is the president of PTAC Warsaw Expo. So people in Poland know PTAC, a lot of events they have been doing there. And we have Mr. Harjeet Singh Chawla, our co-chair. And we also have now with us Mr. Prabal Datta, the general manager and delivery head of the Tata Consultancy Services based in Poland. So thank you very much, Mr. Datta, for being with us today, sir. So I will not take much of the time and request our president, Shri Pradeep Multani from PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry to give his presidential address, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Singh. My warm welcome to each one of you for sparing your valuable time for joining us on today's virtual interactive series on global trade and investment opportunities for Indian industry in Poland. I would like to take this opportunity to briefly mention about PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which has been working for the promotion of Indian industry, trade, and entrepreneurship as a catalyst for the past 117 years and is a forward-looking, proactive, and dynamic pan-India apex organization. As a partner in progress with industry and government, PhD CCI works at the grassroots level with strong national and international linkages for propelling progress, harmony, and integrated development of the Indian economy. PhD CCI, acting as the voice of industry and trade, with a large membership base of 150,000 direct and indirect members consisting of large, medium, and small industries, has forged ahead, leveraging its legacy with the industry knowledge across multiple sectors to take Indian economy to the next level. At the global level, we have been working with the embassies and high commissions in India and overseas to bring in the international best practices and business opportunities. Friends, outbound investments from India have undergone a considerable change, not only in terms of magnitude, but also in terms of geographical spread and sectoral composition. Analysis of the trends in direct investment over the last decade reveals that while investment flows, both inward and outward, were rather muted during the early part of the decade, they gained momentum during the latter half. The current global pandemic has banned travel worldwide, which has made it difficult to carry out business with Indian investors. Friends, India and Poland share a long-standing friendly relationship marked by high-level political contacts, vibrant economic engagement, and traditional cultural links. The bilateral trade between India and Poland during the fiscal year 2021 was USD 2.75 billion, out of which Indian exports amounting to USD 1.94 billion to Poland were a major contributor. The major items imported from Poland included steel, metallifier ores, metal scraps, transport equipment and machinery, and major items exported from India were tobacco, processed minerals, chemicals, rubber, plastic, machinery, drugs, transport equipment, and ready-made cotton garments. Poland is India's largest trade partner and export destination in the Central European region, with bilateral trade growing almost sevenfold over the last 10 years. Indian investments in Poland are valued at over USD 3 billion, which comprises companies such as ArcelorMittal, Videocon, Escorts, Strides Arcolab, Ranbaxy, SL Propack, KPIT Cummins, Sensor Technologies Limited, Tata Consultancy Services, SCL Technologies Limited. The list is really long. Total Polish investment in India is estimated at USD 672 million. Friends, in 2019, Poland was also ranked highest in the CEE region and third in Europe in terms of greenfield investment valued at USD 21.8 billion. It is no coincidence that at the end of 2020, Poland is the third preferred location in Europe for foreign investments. Poland considers India as a major source of pharmaceuticals and personal protective equipment, which have been an essential element of the EU's response to the COVID-19 crisis. As the world continues to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, it is of utmost importance to keep trade flowing and to ensure the supply of products and to continue already existing good cooperation between the Polish and Indian companies. Hence, with a focused and sector-specific approach, both the Indian and Polish industries should strive towards fostering business cooperation by establishing joint ventures, technological transfers, etc. We at PhD-CCI feel that it is important to encourage people-to-people contact, and mediums like these interactive meetings provide a perfect platform to build such contacts and overcome the issue of lack of business awareness on both the sides. Several important economic and commercial conferences and trade fairs and exhibitions are being held in both the countries to enhance our bilateral economic relations. Hence, it is important to share such information in order to encourage participation in such trade fairs and businesses. I would also like to thank our strategic partner, PTAC Warsaw Expo, and our event partner, AVH Associates and Cherry Enterprises, for extending the support to sponsor this event. With these words, I would like to welcome you all once again. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, President Sir, for setting the agenda for today's webinar. Just to add on to what our President Sir said, that we have been very actively involved with Poland on this. And as I would like to inform each one of you that from 17th till 19th of March, we will be participating in Warsaw Gift and Deco Show and Warsaw Home Show, which is being organized by PTAC as India Pavilion in that. So as of date, we have 45 Indian companies who have confirmed their participation, and they all will be visiting and participating in that show there. And we would like to also take this opportunity to invite you all that you can plan a delegation to India, which as PhD Chamber would like to host you all, so that we can have a fruitful interaction with our member companies who are from multi-sector, which were the sectors mentioned by President Sir. So those all sectors, we have our member companies. So those all B2B meetings can be facilitated by our chamber. And we have our own buildings in different states and cities in India where we can host you. The meetings can be organized in those, and our with the industry as well as the state governments also. So now to proceed further, I would like to invite Mr. S.K. Ray, the First Secretary Commerce from the Embassy of India, Poland, for his special address on the Indian government perspective to India-Polish trade.
Dear friends, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Friends, in fact, for me, it's a great, you can say, honor and privilege to join you all for this webinar, which is focused on trade and investment opportunities in Poland. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry for taking this initiative, which is very timely. In fact, post-COVID, when the business and economy is opening up, this is a very good time to organize this event to brief which are the opportunities available for both sides at this juncture. And again, I would like to thank them for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this event. Now, insofar as Government of India's focus is concerned, government is focused on enhancement of economic and commercial engagements on 3 T's. It is trade, technology, and tourism. So the underlying objective is to boost trade and tourist inflows into the country, and also to facilitate technology transfers to Indian companies. And in this context, I can definitely say that Poland is undoubtedly a very attractive destination, and Poland can play a very important role. Poland is a steadfast friend and is in fact our most important trade and investment partner in Eastern and Central European region. But simultaneously, I would like to add that there is still much below our actual potential, and there exist enormous opportunities to build a stronger relationship, which can be based on increased trade and investment, greater defense cooperation, and also more people-to-people contact. Poland is an emerging global economy that we recognize, and this is a country with great promise as a strong European nation. So India definitely sees Poland as a key partner in Europe. One of the reasons is its strategic location, the democratic credentials, and also the strong economic and defense partnership that we have had since long time. And Poland can simultaneously be a technology manufacturing hub for innovative Indian projects who are interested for the EU market. Now, insofar as bilateral trade is concerned, as Mr. Multani just mentioned, Poland is our largest trading partner in the Eastern and Central European region. And the important part is that apart from the growth that we have witnessed over a period of a decade or so, we have also witnessed an increasing trend of diversification of sectors. There are some traditional strongholds, like Mr. Multani mentioned, like textiles, chemicals, base metals, etc. But in recent period, there has been an increasing interest in other sectors, like you can say plastics, leather and leather products, ceramics, building materials. So we have been witnessing there is increasing interest from both sides on new and diversified sectors. And for the current year, what we saw that the most promising sector, engineering goods, remained the most promising sector, and we are hopeful that the trend will continue in the successive years as well. Now, as you all are aware, during the pandemic, the supply chains originating from China were significantly disrupted, and it was a phenomena felt all over the world. And at this juncture, given the size and the potential of the economy and the strong manufacturing and service industry base in India, India could definitely play a significant role in meeting the post-COVID demand of the Polish government or Polish businesses. And insofar, if you go into the question of investment, like Mr. Multani already mentioned, Indian investment in Poland has been steadily growing, and it is now close to something you can $3 billion. The Indian IT companies, they are heading the Indian investment in Poland, and frankly speaking, most of them have remained quite successful, and they are in the process of expansion of their business activities. But I would like to add that apart from IT, there are many other potential areas, whether when the police companies can definitely play an important role in so far as technology transfer, etc. is concerned, like agro-food industries, urban infrastructure, water and wastewater treatment, electric vehicles, renewable energy, etc. All these are potential sectors. In addition to that, definitely defense sector could play an important role, which could effectively give a boost to our thriving economic relation. Because Poland has a very strong technological base in defense, and both sides should explore the areas of joint ventures and co-production of defense equipment. Now, again, I would like to add that insofar as the Poland has also identified India as one of the promising markets, and with that purpose to deepen our economic engagements, PAI had opened an office in Mumbai, and I'm not sure whether this office is still operational or not, but that will be really, it was a very good idea. And if we look into the opportunities or the activities for the coming years, it could facilitate the same. Now, simultaneously in September 2019, from the tourism perspective, Polish Lot Airlines, they started direct flight service on the Warsaw-Delhi sector, and it was a very good initiative, and it could play a very important role in enhancing tourism, business, and people-to-people contacts. We have seen that as per trend, there has been a growing interest among the Polish people for Asia as a tourism destination. And I would like to emphasize that the Polish tour operators must consider India as a destination in combination with other touristic destinations in Asia, like Thailand or Malaysia or other places. And also I would like to, like Mr. Multani mentioned, PhD Chamber of Commerce, they've already signed a memorandum of understanding with the Patak Expo, and I would like to thank them for this initiative. And I would like to, in fact, encourage them. I'm glad to know that they're coming for the gift and decor show, but I would like to encourage them to take part in most of the important sector-specific trades, fairs, and exhibitions which are being organized by Patak Expo. And that frankly gives a very good opportunity for understanding of the local condition, more people-to-people contact, for the available opportunities, what are the avenues of cooperation. And that should be a two-way, that the police companies should also take part in the major fairs and exhibitions in India, and which could definitely facilitate the economic relation between the two countries. With this, I would like to end. And actually, of course, you mentioned about IPCCI, the Patak Expo, they are PAI, they all are playing a very important role in cementing our economic relation between the two countries. And I am quite confident, I am quite hopeful that it will grow further in coming years. With this, I would like to end. And once again, I would like to thank PHDCI Chamber of Commerce and Industry for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this event. And Embassy will always be very happy to extend the best possible support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ray, for your kind words. And definitely we'll be sharing all the details with you about the show which we are participating. And just wanted to inform, apart from PTAC, we also have an MOU with IPCCI also, sir. So with them also, we have exchange MOU. So we'll be working very closely with them also.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So now I would like to invite His Excellency, Mr. Adam Burakowski, the Embassy of Poland in India, for his address, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this organizing this meeting. It is very important that we meet. Unfortunately, we still meet. This is me. Okay. So unfortunately, we still meet online and everybody prefers in person, I hope that very soon we meet in person, really, because I hope that this pandemic is going to the end. Even my personal story is that I am in isolation because I might have COVID, but I don't have any symptoms. So I wish everybody that they will be asymptomatic and very soon over. So I would like to give my thanks and best regards to the president of the PhD Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Pradeep Multani, and also to Mr. Purushottam Bagheria, Chair of International Affairs at PhD Chamber of Commerce, and also to Mr. Naveen Seth. As you know, I have been participating in many PhD events, and the Embassy of Poland is always ready to help you. I would like to also to express my gratitude to the Embassy of India, and namely the First Secretary, Mr. S.K. Ray, for giving us how do we see it from Indian perspective. Also to the Polish counterparts. This, first of all, PAIH. We hope that PAIH will open the office in India very soon. We are here to help. I'm very glad to see you all there. And also the new director of the Delhi office. This, I think that the best solution is that the first LOT Polish Airlines flight that will open very soon, we hope, will bring all the PAIH team to India, and with this new branch, new office opening. Also, I'd like to express my gratitude to Mr. J.J. Singh and his IPCCI, with whom we cooperate for a very, very, very long time, and also for the TAC Expo. They were present at the the inauguration flight of LOT Polish Airlines, and I hope they will be present also in the re-inaugurational flight. So, what is Poland and why is it important for India? It will be a very broad presentation by our friends, but I just wanted to highlight that according to the foresight, we are maintaining the GDP growth at more than 5% per year in 2021. In 2022, we expect a slight decline, but still a very high, which will be 4.5 according to the perspectives of the European Union, and this is still great according to the circumstances. Poland is the important part of European Union. So if you access Poland, you access the whole European Union, and this is one of the reasons that we should really work on connectivity between our countries, and LOT Polish Airlines flight is not the only one that I am having in mind. Also to combat some bureaucratic hurdles that we face, and we are here to help, and I'm sure that the Embassy of India in Warsaw is doing exactly the same. We have to really present that our business is as important as to give maximum priority to the trade between Poland and India. There is also one factor that contributes to these people-to-people relations. This is the big number and growing number of Indian students in Poland. Unfortunately, still not sufficient number of Polish students in India, but we are working on it. And as I said, the more connectivity, the more business, and the more ties. Thank you very much, and I wish you a good conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, His Excellency, for your kind words and the support we have always been getting from your office, sir. Thank you very much. So now I would like to invite our supporting partners, Polish Investment and Trade Agency, to talk about the investment opportunities in Poland. So we have with us Ms. Monika Kisel, the manager from the PITA, Mr. Radost Pitush, the expert from PITA, and Mr. Zareba, head of the Foreign Office. So over to you, Monika.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm representing Center for Strategic Investment in headquarters of Polish Investment and Trade Agency in Warsaw, together with my colleague Radosław Pituch, and we'll present short presentation about investment climate in Poland. After that, our colleague Przemysław will give a few words about our foreign office. So Radosław, if you could start, I will take on later on.
Yes, sure. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes, it's visible.
And I hope the slides are changing.
No, you can make it full screen.
Yes, but I'm trying, but something is not working correctly. It was before, so apologies for this inconvenience. Maybe I should just try and share it again. Monica, I will have to ask you to share the screen because something is wrong with my hardware, and the slides aren't changing. So apologies for this inconvenience. If you could.
Yes, just 1 second. I'm just.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Monica. Ladies and gentlemen, in the first words, we would like to thank the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Trade for inviting us to take part in this event and to have the possibility to present the investment potential of Poland. And we would like to express our gratitude on behalf of our management board and of the management of our Center for Investments. I think we can proceed with the slides, Monica. So, the Polish Investment and Trade Agency, I will start from the introduction of the agency. So, the Polish Investment and Trade Agency was erected more than 20 years ago, and and in its current form, it's operating since 2017, when we have the investment and trade aspects joined together within our entity. We are the first contact point for foreign investors as it comes to the foreign direct investment part, and of course the path for Polish small and medium enterprises in international going abroad and starting their export adventure, thanks to a network of more than 60 foreign trade offices that are spread around the world. So as it comes to the Center for Investments, which we together with Monica represent today, we provide tailor-made macroeconomic, HR, legal, and sectoral data packs to our investors. Information about different forms of public funding, Monica will take on later on this part, so we will talk more on this topic, which is one of the key factors that draws investors to Poland. Apologies. We also provide location consultancy, identification of potential partners, facilitating contacts with local and central governments, organization of site visits for prospective investors. We also work on organizing B2B meetings with potential business partners. We support partnerships within the R&D institutes and R&D network across Poland. And we also provide, of course, a follow-up service, which is an aftercare service for our investors. So you can be sure that after you set up your business here in Poland, you can count on our support if there will be any issues that should be addressed, and we can help you with managing contacts with local governments or the central government. You can count on our help. As it comes to our center, next slide, please. As it comes to the portfolio of our center, over the last 25 years, we've supported more than 1,000 investment projects. So that means these are the projects that actually happened in Poland over that period of time, with more than 30 billion euros of investment costs involved in this process. Our top investor countries are currently Belarus. That is mostly related to the political situation in Belarus and the inflow of IT companies from Belarus to Poland. Our second highest ranking investor are Polish companies, because we also do support Polish-based companies, Poland-based companies. Third place is the US, then South Korea, China, and Germany. The top sectors are business shared services sector, e-mobility, automotive, food processing, chemical, and metal. Next slide, please. As we look on the map of Europe, Poland is located nearly in the center of the continent and is surely, like Mr. Ambassador said, a gateway to Europe as it comes to investing and trading within the European Union. We are the fifth most populous country in the EU with more than 38 million inhabitants. We have 14 cities exceeding 200,000 inhabitants, so you can be sure that you can find the right workforce and highly educated and skilled students and graduates in those cities, because every one of those cities is an academic hub. Then, as you can see, the total GDP is 1.3 trillion US. What I would like to emphasize here is that according to the latest studies, Poland in the last 30 years is the second in the world as it comes to the GDP growth, just after China and right before India. So we are together with India, we are in the top 3 countries that have the highest real GDP growth in the last 30 years since 1991. And the currency of our country is Polish zloty, which is equivalent more or less to 4.6 zloty is equivalent of €1. 4 zloty is equivalent of $1 US. The tax rates are CIT 19%, the base rate. There are also 9% and 5% rates. VAT is base rate 23%. There are, of course, smaller rates, 8%, 5%, and 0%. And PIT, the personal income tax, is 17% and 32%, the second the upper threshold for certain income. Next slide, please. As it comes to the key industries in Poland, we should start with automotive and electromobility. These sectors are booming in the last couple of years, as we observe a lot of investors, especially from Asia, to consider Poland as their new hub for manufacturing batteries for electric cars and other components. We have more than 250,000 people employed in this sector. And then we have aerospace, which is, we observe a lot of interest from around the world, actually, from Canada, from US, just to mention Lockheed Martin or Sikorsky, to be having their operations here in Poland. 40,000 people employed in this sector. The business services sector, the sector that covers more than 300,000 people employed in it, with more than 1,400 centers across Poland. Important part of our economy. Then we have the research and development sector with 170,000 employed in it. Food processing around 400,000 people employed, and electronics and white goods 100,000 people employed. So as you can see, Poland has a lot to offer for many investors, and actually we, as already have been mentioned before in the opening speeches, we are surely a market that can be considered as one of the top in Europe for foreign investors. Next slide, please, Monica. Here's a brief look on Poland's location across the Central Eastern Europe. We are obviously the largest country in the region with the highest number of citizens, more than 38 million. As you can see, Poland is responsible for 40% of the total population of the region. 60% of the population live in the cities, 23 million Poles are in working age, and we have almost 40 cities with a number of more than 100,000 inhabitants. And the next slide should be the public aid, I think. Oh, no, sorry. Here's a brief look on our strategic location in the heart of Europe. As you can see, there are 4 pan-European corridors that go through Poland, 2 trans-European transport network projects, 41 international intermodal terminals, and rapidly developing internal highway infrastructure. We have the 5th longest highway network in Europe, more than 1,250 kilometers of motorways and expressways under construction. We are also a Central Eastern European air travel hub, and there are already developments to set up one of the largest hubs across Europe in central Poland near Łódź. So this will happen in a few years, but the development has already been taken by the government. And we have access to 4 large seaports with almost 100 million tons cargo turnover back in 2019, so before the pandemic. And so from my end, thank you. And now I will pass the voice on to Monica.
Thank you, Radek. Thank you for this short introduction. So Radek has described briefly the basic conditions of investing in Poland, of Polish market. And I would like to tell you more about the public aid programs in Poland. We do know that public aid is an important factor when it comes to the investment decision. And we are very happy to tell you that in Poland, you can find the highest support levels in the whole European Union. Of course, this support will differ across the country, but I will move to that in a minute. First, let's start from the brief overview of the instruments that you can use when you think of investing in Poland. You can receive some cash grants, tax incentives. So the tax rates that Radek was mentioning, they can be lowered, or you can be released from tax at all. You can get some preferential loans. Those are the offers from our partners from the Polish Development Fund Group. And there are also options for some equity contribution. So let me tell about how it looks in different parts of Poland and what are the differences between the instruments. So when it comes to the map, this of course the whole Poland, you can see that the highest support is available in the eastern part of Poland. It's 50% of the capex of the investment for large enterprises. For medium enterprises, it will be 10 percentage point more, and for small enterprises, even 20. So maximum, it's possible to get up to 70% of your capex back in different forms of public aid. Of course, we do understand that you can choose any other regions, but still the support is very interesting because the biggest part of Poland is covered by the 40% return, and in two voivodeships, Pomorskie and Śląskie 30, and then Wielkopolskie and Dolnośląskie 25. And there is one city in Poland that is excluded from the support. It's Warsaw City and the neighboring cities, small villages. But then you can still decide to go to the other side city, not other country, and we'll be happy to support your decision. And when it comes to the maximum support, and without the notification, it's possible to obtain support for the project up to 100 million euro. And then if you decide to invest such an amount, you can get up to 37.5 million euro as a big company in Eastern Poland. There are three most popular tools to get public aid. First is corporate income tax exemption, which is available in whole Poland, and you can get from 10 up to 15 years tax-free. Then there are cash grants, which are also available in whole Poland, but there are different rules for different types of companies. I will tell about it in a minute. And real estate tax, which is available in some parts of Poland. It depends on the local authorities if they allow such an instrument or not. So starting from the corporate income tax exemption, which is called Polish investment zone in Poland, you have to fill two types of requirements. First is quantitative and then qualitative. When it comes to quantitative criteria, it depends on the region and how developed is the region and how high you have to go with your capex. When it comes to the qualitative criteria, you have to get up to from 4 up to 6 points depending on the region. And here in the table, you have the 13 requirements, 13 criteria that you can choose from to get 6, 5, or 4 points minimum. Then when it comes to the governmental grants, I would like to start from the governmental grant for the business shared services sector. There are three types of investments that can be covered by this tool. First is business support service, then center of excellence and R&D center. The qualification, which project is your project, will depend on on how advanced are the process in your future company in Poland. And of course, we'll be happy to support you and to give you an advice, and we'll tell you which project is your project. So then the criteria, there are also qualitative and quantitative criteria. When it comes to the quantitative criteria, the minimum cost is from 1 million for R&D center up to 1.5 million for other two types of investment. However, in Eastern Poland, this level is lowered only to 0.3 million euro, Polish zloty, which is very low and very easy to meet for many companies. The main criteria is nevertheless the employment, the new created employment. The lowest is for R&D centers, but then all the staff must be R&D staff. Then for Center of Excellence and BSS, then it's 150 or 250. Again, in Eastern Poland, only 50 of new staff. The support is calculated by the per one person employed. So you can get from maximum up to 12,000 Polish zloty per one created position, or 15,000 maximum per one position created in Eastern Poland, or 20,000 in R&D center. The exact amount of the cash grant depends on the detailed calculation provided by us. When it comes to the qualitative criteria, there are a few types of this criteria, from structural development, scientific development, sustainable development, then HR development and social responsibility. It really depends on the project, how high is it's estimated, and this assessment influence the actual amount of the grant. There are also cash grants for manufacturing projects, and here the main criteria when it comes to the quantitative criteria is not the employment but the eligible cost. For strategic projects, it's 160 million Polish zloty, around 40 million euro. For innovative projects, only 7 million Polish zloty, which is around 1.5 million euro. However, to be qualified as an innovative project, you have to obtain the confirmation of the innovativeness from the Ministry of Development. And then this is also possible to have the support for R&D manufacturing project, and the eligible costs are the lowest there, so only 1 million Polish zloty. Then the support is not calculated per position created by percentage of capex. So it's from maximum 10 or 15% in Eastern Poland, or for R&D 15 or 20% in Eastern Poland. This is a maximum percentage, of course. As in case of business shared services, everything depends on also on the qualitative criteria, how many of them your project is meeting, and it's difficult to tell you at the beginning. So we really invite everyone who would like to consider investment in Poland to talk to us, and we'll help you to assess the possible amount of public aid. So actually, this is all from our side. We are open to answer all the questions and to help you to decide to invest in Poland. However, it's not all of our services. We have also Przemysław Zaręba with us, who is the head of our foreign office. And now I will give the floor to Przemek. Przemek, if you could introduce yourself and how you can help our investors in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Monica. Excellencies, Ambassador of Poland in India, Mr. Adam Burakowski, Mr. First Secretary, and officials from the Embassy of India in Warsaw, officials of the Polish Embassy in New Delhi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everyone, as I'm joining you today from Kuala Lumpur. My name is Przemysław Zaręba, and I represent the Foreign Trade Office of the Polish Investment and Trade Agency in India. On behalf of PAIH, I would like to thank you for taking part in this webinar today and all the insightful information shared during this virtual event. As you already know, PAIH is the governmental agency headquartered in Warsaw. It also runs a network of foreign trade offices all over the world. We are present on different continents, and speaking of Asia, our trade offices are located in such countries as Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Japan, South Korea, China, and Indonesia. Our agency promotes business, trade, and investment relations, as you can see, doing it worldwide. Our foreign trade office in India's main goal is to promote Polish-Indian business opportunities and relations, mostly focusing on exports from Poland and attracting foreign direct investments to Poland. As Ambassador Adam Burakowski mentioned, our office is currently in progress of setting up. Hopefully, within the next few months, we'll be finally physically present in India. Nowadays, we cover Indian, Malaysian, and Myanmar markets from our trade office here in Kuala Lumpur, with the support of our headquarters in Warsaw. Ladies and gentlemen, you can contact me directly if you have any inquiries related to trade opportunities and investment in Poland. I look forward to working with you on mutual projects in the future. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the very nice presentation. I think you have given most of the things in detail. And if there are any queries, we can definitely take it in the question answer session. And I'll also request Ms. Monica if she can share the presentation so that we can pass it on to our members who are interested in this. So once again,
Yes, of
thank you
course.
for the presentation. So now to proceed further, we would like to invite Mr. J.J. Singh, who is the president of the Indo-Polish Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Poland, to discuss about the trade opportunities in Poland for the Indian industry. And as he is also the board member of the Polish Chamber of Commerce, so I would request Mr. J.J. Singh if he can give us the both sides of the coin for the benefit of our participants.
Thank you very much, Naveen, His Excellencies, colleagues from the industry, and the friends online, very welcome. Myself is J.J. Singh. I'm representing Indo-Polish Chamber of Commerce based in Warsaw. Now, I am a bit over 32 years in Poland, so definitely I can give you the perspective on both the sides. We have seen the immense, cooperation increase between the two countries in the last 15 years, and our chamber is here to cooperate with all the industry bodies and to help increase the trade and commerce between the two countries. Now, a lot has been said about the country's, GDP, the growth, and how the trade is. I would just mention, the four main industries, what we see as a perspective of Poland and India for the cooperation between the two countries. It goes without saying, IT is number one. We have seen a lot of Indian companies investing into Poland, and they're quite successful. But we have also helped as a chamber, a Polish company, which is, you can say, a unicorn in the Polish IT industry, Millennium. They have started their office in Maharashtra, in Pune, and we actually spearheaded the investment, helping them to establish the office. So this shows that it's not only the Indian IT industry which is coming into Europe for the business administration works, but it's also the Polish companies looking at the Indian market. After that, we can say it's agro, which is growing a lot. Here we are talking about the technology transfer by far. And the third most important is the pharma. Although we know that because of the European and the Indian free trade agreement dispute over the pharmaceutical products and the pharma industry, I think still the Polish companies, pharma companies, are having the ways in cooperating with the Indian companies to bring in the generic drugs to Europe under the umbrella. So that's another point where the Indian industry can see for the cooperation. Definitely tourism is the main drive between the two countries. And I hope that after COVID, there'll be more tourism will be towards India and vice versa towards Poland also. Besides that, I would just like to mention that one point where the Indian industries, and especially from the business side in the IT, can cooperate is a fintech, because Poland is a very important country right now on the fintech roadmap. At Central Europe, it is valued at almost at 886 million euro. So this shows the strength of the fintech industry of Poland. And I'm sure if the two forces can be joined, we have a lot of intellectuals also in India on the fintech side. I'm sure that there can be an easy entry into the European market also. Although I know what is the stand of Indian government on some of the products which are related to the blockchain, but I think that we can leave aside. Besides that, I can see that, of course, the airline plays a very important role, as already said. I would just like to say, since I'm also in the business of the airline, that Polish Airlines is planning to also start operations to Mumbai from Warsaw. So this will also give, I would say, the more perspective of the business. And by most of us forgetting the soft power of India, Bollywood, where we are also trying with the Polish tourism organization to promote Polish locations for the filming of the Bollywood movies. So this all has generated that where we are right now, and I'm sure with the help of all the organization, and I'm glad to hear that PAHI is again opening up the office in India. We have been cooperating with them for a long time now, and it's good to see that they are coming back in the Indian subcontinent. And I'm sure this will also help to get a lot of business people coming into Poland. So all in all, I can only say from the perspective of an Indian staying in Poland, to my Indian business people who are there on the session right now. The Poland is a very, I would say, the business and investor friendly country. We were pleased to see that during the last 2 years when COVID struck, how the government reacted to save the jobs and the businesses. So this shows how much attention and the energy they put into the small and medium businesses also, which is also the backbone of the Indian economy. It same goes here also. So I'm sure that a lot of businesses from India can find a ground for their business to expand into Poland, and not only, like already said, that will be to grow to the European Union. So I'm sure it's a win-win situation for both sides. With this, I can only say that IPCCI, we are there to support you. We are there to help you. And I'm also glad to hear that TCS is coming back to Poland after a brief break, I would say. And I'm sure that their decision, it's right on the time. And I think it's good moment they're coming back, because IT industry is booming in Poland. So if there's anything also we can assist and in guiding them, we are all there to assist you. So thank you very much, friends. If there's anything, you can reach out to me. And Mr. Naveen is having all my credentials. We are here to serve you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. J. Singh, for your kind words. And I think, as always, you have always been a good support to not only to us, but you have been guiding us also that how we can do a lot of trade and business there in Poland. So thank you once again, sir. So now I would like to invite Mr. Prabal Datta, the General Manager and Delivery Head of Tata Consultancy Services, to share his success story what they have in Poland. So Mr. Prabal, over to you.
Thank you, Navin. Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies. First of all, thank you to the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Poland Investment and Trade Promotion Agency for inviting me, particularly to Radek and Monica, giving me this opportunity. I thought I will just share a quick presentation. Let me see if I can pull it out here. I think it's going to work. Okay, good. I mean, there's not much of content in this. I guess some of it has already been spoken about earlier, but it will be good to. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure all of the people in the call probably are aware of TCS, Tata Consultancy Service, because we were one of the largest company in the IT and IT services in the world. But we all thought we'll touch a little bit about our presence in UK and Europe. In UK and Europe, we have been present for more than 40 years now. And it is, as you can see, it's almost 1/4 of our total revenue base of TCS. So it's a very important geography. And within Europe, if you look at the Eastern Europe countries, we are here also for last 20 years. I am based out of Hungary, but I look after the 7 countries that we are present in Eastern Europe. And one of them is Poland. Right? And as Mr. J. Singh was referring to, that we had our presence in Poland for some time now. But in the recent past, I would say in the last 2 to 3 years, it has started growing significantly more and more. And one of the reasons, if you've seen the TCS results overall, you've probably seen that TCS in Europe is growing faster than the company. It's also because Europe is opening up and more demands for our kinds of services, ICT services are increasing. And there's a need for delivering them from Europe. And that's why the expansion in operations of ICT services. And as Radek also mentioned in his presentation, that ICT is one of the largest sector of growth in the region. Right? And in Poland, for example, today we have about 500, which is like almost double the headcount that we had last year. And we see that in the coming years, we are going to probably double it or quadruple it in the coming years. So, and why, then the question comes in, why you are looking at it, Poland? And the very simple reason I would say, I mean, for me, it's, sorry. Yeah. Well, most of the points that we talked is there, different speakers have talked about. Oops, sorry, it is going very fast. Let me just fix this first. Yeah, okay. Oops. Yeah. All right. Now, I think talked about the bilateral trade and talked about being part of EU. Of course, it's a very important part, and that's also gives us access to the different subsidies that Monica and Radhik talked about. But for us, I think the important factor has been the talent pool, which has Poland is a huge country, and with the significant population, I think more than 200,000 graduates that come out. I think that's 400,000 tertiary output that we have. So that's a big talent pool. While it's very much similar to what we have in India. Like we have multiple metros so that we can reach out the talent pool. Poland is kind of similar. It's not only a capital, because in a typical European country, the capital is by far the biggest, and other smaller cities are quite small. But Poland being a large country, even the tier 2, tier 3 cities have quite significant talent pool. Our presence is primarily in Warsaw, but we also are present in 6 or 7 other cities within Poland, right? And we plan to grow accordingly in this. Right? Now, and these factors, depends on what kind of industry that you are referring. We are looking at. Mr. Jayasingh also referred some of these factors that are I think more suitable, and IT asset industry is definitely one of them where we are playing. But agri-tech, meditech, or fintech that we talked about is definitely positioning of. And the biggest part of Poland, which I see that it is also the large domestic market that it offers. Not only the location-wise central location access to other European, being part of EU also gives you the access to the larger European market, but also the local domestic market is also a big support that is an investor can look forward. And of course, Polish government through their policies and government support, financial support also enables companies to look forward. Now, we have not yet availed that grant yet, but for us, as I said earlier, that giving access to the talent pool and the support that we have been receiving just through the Police Investment Agency in connecting to the right stakeholders and the whole building up an ecosystem. It's not only the big players, but you have smaller players to very niche players, and they help us in connecting. So anybody who is want to come in, while we are TCS is very big if you look at worldwide, but in Poland we are not that big, right? But we are growing. But so from that perspective, the support that we have got and we continue to get is really phenomenal. So I'm really thankful for that one, and I'm sure anybody willing to look at Poland as an investment location would be pleasantly surprised. We're supported by Police Investment Agency, the Chamber of Commerce, and all the other agencies. And there's a good ecosystem and connect an Indian embassy there, which can help us make that investment fruitful. So I would definitely recommend to consider this in the near future. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Praval Datta. So now I would like to invite my dear friend, Mr. Tomas Sespula, the president of the PTAC Warsaw Expo, to share his views with us and also mention about what all events they are doing in Poland. Mr. Tomas. Mr. Tomas, are you there from PTAC Warsaw?
I think he's taking a quick break, Naveen.
It seems I'll just check with him. So in the meantime, we have got 1 or 2 questions from people, if I can take it up with your permission. First is that people really want to know the guidelines which are there as of now. So I think Mr. Tomas is here, so we'll first request him. So Mr. Tomas, we would like to have your presentation. You can unmute and do your presentation, sir. Mr. Tomas, can you hear me? You are on mute, sir.
Thomas, you are muted. Please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You are muted. Mikrofon nie działa u ciebie, Tomasz.
Thank
Do
you.
you hear me right now? Yeah. Chinese equipment. Sorry. My friends, good morning, everybody. Good morning, distinguished participants. My name is Tomasz Sikula. I'm chairman of PTAC Warsaw Expo. That's the information for those who meet me the first time right now. I would like to explain a couple of information about Warsaw Expo, about our venue, and about our activity in Poland, and also about the cooperation between us and PhD, about us and the Indian partners and entrepreneurs. So first of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this conference, especially PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who have been our business partner for a couple of years now, for inviting me to say a few words about PTAC Warsaw Expo's international activity and especially our relations with India. In the beginning, let me give you a brief introduction of who are and what we do. So PTAC Warsaw Expo is a UFI member and the fastest growing trade fair host in Europe. Before the pandemic, we have organized 70 events every year. PTAC Warsaw Expo is also the largest fair and congress center in Poland, as well as in Central and Eastern Europe, which is located in the suburbs of Warsaw, the capital of Poland, 10-15 minutes from the international Warsaw Shopping Airport and 20 minutes from the city center. The venue has 143,000 square meters of exhibition space in 18 modern pavilions, 500,000 square meters of external space. Before the pandemic, every year PTAC Warsaw Expo hosted over 600,000 visitors from 30 countries and almost 7,000 exhibitors. We have a wide range of international B2B exhibitions in our calendar. Some of the strongest, most successful ones are Warsaw Home and Contract, Fast Textile, Warsaw Industry Week, Warsaw PAC, and many more. What is important, various independent organizers, including many key players, choose PTAC Warsaw Expo to host foreign editions of their international trade fairs. This way, we are the host of such exhibitions as Beauty Forum, World of Coffee, Poland Shoe Expo, and more. This year, we'll be also co-organize the first Polish edition of Warsaw Marble Fair together with ISFAS, the Izmir Fairs. As I mentioned previously, while organizing our exhibition, we always focus not only on the domestic, but also international market. And we cooperate with different organizations and institutions from all over the world. India is one of the top 3 countries, next to Turkey and China, who is always our strongest and most important partner. And what can I say from my heart? For me, you are the closest, Navi, because I see the potential and I see that India is still undiscovered business market for us. And we can be your gateway for the other European Union countries. I wish that TAC Warsaw Expo can help the Indian entrepreneurs, Indian business to develop not only in our country, but develop in other European Union countries. And the TAC Warsaw Expo is the best place to recognize the European market. Okay, this is without my speech on the paper. This is from my heart. These are some industries in which Indians and unquestionable world leaders. This includes fabric, textile and leather, glass and plastic products, handcraft, automotive parts, steel and metal products, and many more. The exhibitions that we organize at TAC Warsaw Expo, such as Fast Textile, Warsaw Home and Gift, Warsaw Build, Warsaw Pack, Metal Tech, Warsaw Marble Show, are always extremely popular among the Indian entrepreneurs. They allow Indian companies to exhibit their goods, and thanks to that, they can explore European market, establish new business relationship, and as a result, increase their turnover significantly. Dear friends, for instance, one of our most prominent trade fair that I mentioned, Fast Textile, which was being organized for 7 years, also has a really international nature. In 2019, we hosted exhibitors from 40 countries, and the number of visitors reached more than 30,000. In 2021, during the pandemic period, we helped to arrange an Indian pavilion that covered almost 500 square meters, and this year we are expecting even a bigger one, since many exhibitors from 2021 have already confirmed their participation in this year's edition. Another Indian pavilion is being organized during our Warsaw Home and Gift and Deco exhibition, which will be held next month. Welcome, everybody. It is possible due to the cooperation with a PhD, with whom we established the strategic relations several years ago, and we hope to continue it for many years to come. There are also some new exhibitions that are going to have a premiere this year and which already gain a lot of interest among Indian exhibitors. One of the examples is a stone exhibition, Warsaw Marble Fair, that will be organized in September together with a Turkish partner, Izmir Fair. These joint forces will help us build a strong international and very competitive exhibition in that industry. We are glad to announce that we already have many Indian companies who have declared that participation in the fair too. We are proud to be a bridge between India and Poland, as well as the other European countries. I'm proud that we can do that together with PhD. This is our strategic partner, and I think that everything what can be the most important in the relations, the business relations, that both parties, I mean the PhD and TAC Warsaw Expo, can help in the many activities and many fields to develop better. We are sure that our exhibition, which continue to grow, can become a perfect gate to new business opportunities. We would like to thank all of the Indian entrepreneurs who decide to cooperate with us and exhibit in Poland for their trust, and we promise to keep developing our fairs and continue giving you a platform to doing good business. Thank you again for having me here. Thank you again for our cooperation, Navin. Thank you very much for all participants of this conference, and welcome to Poland. Welcome to PTAC Warsaw Expo. Thank you very much for attention. I wish you a good and successful, fruitful conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Thomas. It was very nice. Actually, you spoke from the heart. I also recall when 4 or 5 years back, we started our relation. So that is how it has been building up. And I'm sure with this coming month event and the other events which we have been discussing, we will have a lot of Indian companies who will be participating in the shows happening in PTAC. So thank you very much once again for your support.
Thank you.
So now, before we conclude, a couple of questions. I think we will have to ask His Excellency from the Embassy of Poland that the quarantine travel guidelines, a lot of people are concerned about those. So they would like to know what are the actual guidelines if they have to travel to Poland, what are the actual guidelines on that, and how fast they can get the visa on that. So these are a couple of questions as of now people are asking. So if I would request, sir, if you can, somebody from Embassy could throw some light on that. Yeah, ma'am.
Mihaina Seliga from the economic section of the embassy. I believe Mr. Ambassador had to go to another appointment that he had. So all of the guidelines are available of our website, on the consular section website. So there is obviously the normal visa procedure as for now.
And for visa part, how much time minimum is required? Maybe 1 week or 5 days?
I have no idea. It depends. It is being processed by separate department. Okay, so I cannot give this information, but it can be found on our website. I will send you all the details so you can distribute for the interested parties.
Sure. So thank you very much for the information. So I would now like to invite Mr. Harjeet Chawla ji, our co-chair for the International Affairs Committee for Europe and CIS. Mr. Chawla, maybe before you propose the vote of thanks, your concluding remarks and maybe your observations on the overall interaction we had today. Sir, you are on mute. We can't hear you. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. I think it was a very fruitful interaction. It's a great, feedback we've got on the different sectors that definitely India has to offer for exports to Poland as well as the imports. I myself am in textile and I really enjoy working with Poland. We work with a few stores there as well. I think more people need to understand what the exact strategic importance is of Poland and how much it matters for an entry point into Europe as well. So I'd like to give the vote of thanks. On behalf of the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I would like to thank the Embassy of India in Poland, Poland, and the Embassy of Poland in India. It's a matter of great honor to receive your continued support and guidance for all our activities. I would also like to thank Ms. Monika Kissel, Manager, Polish Investment and Trade Agency PITA, Mr. Pituk, Expert PITA Poland, Mr. Zareba, Head of the Foreign Office PITA in India, for being with us today and addressing the participants and investment opportunities in Poland. It's been a privilege to listen to you, and your observations are highly invaluable and captivating. Our thanks to Mr. Prabal Datta, General Manager and Delivery Center Head, Tata Consultancy Services, for sharing his success story of doing business in Poland. I would like to also do a special thanks to Mr. Arendarski, President, Polish Chamber of Commerce, and Mr. JJ Singh, President of the Indo-Polish Chamber of Commerce and Industries, for sharing with us this valuable experience of trade and investment in Poland and for supporting the event. Last but not least, I'd like to say thanks to our strategic partners, PTAC Warsaw Expo, and our event partner, AVH Associates and Cherry Enterprises for extending the kind support of sponsoring today's event. Let me take this opportunity to thank all dignitaries and business delegates who have joined us today. I am sure that we indeed have had a very fruitful and informative session, and the session would have provided much needed information to the Indian industry about various incentives offered the government of Poland. I would like to reiterate that our aim is to foster international relations in social, cultural, and economic fields, where enterprises, government, and international organizations interact to promote and strengthen cooperation. And the PhD CCI will continue to work towards better and stronger collaborations with Poland and will constantly strive to identify new areas of mutual cooperation and ensure smooth flow of trade, investment, joint ventures, as well as technology. Before I conclude, I would like to once again thank all the dignitaries for joining us today. I now request all present to carry this vote of thanks with acclamation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think, as you rightly pointed out, it was a very fruitful discussion today. And I think what Mr. Ray also mentioned in the beginning, that this is the appropriate time. Now things are opening up. So I think this is the right time we start to interacting with both the communities there in India as well as in Poland, so that we can start our business activities. And as Mr. JJ Singh ji mentioned, that we need to meet in person. Virtually, we can't have that kind of feeling, because I can see Mr. Thomas and Mr. Kazimierz, I've been waiting to meet them. So we look forward. So next month, hopefully, we will be there in Warsaw so that we can meet you all in person. And I also would like to take the opportunity to thank all the participants who have been there with us throughout the session. And if you have any query, do share with us. We will immediately connect you with the right people, either Mr. JJ Singh or PITA or PTAC or embassy. We will definitely connect you with them so that all your queries could be solved. So I once again take the opportunity and thank you all for sparing your time and being with us for this session today. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.